ride that rocket.
Buy that fucking dip,
Yeah.
buy that fucking dip,
Oh.
buy that fucking dip, dump it on the top and spit.
Buy that shit.
Buy that fucking dip,
Yeah.
buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
When it drops, better cop, let it fucking rip. People love the pump,
Yeah.
got 'em lining up.
Wow.
See us winning, FOMO in and YOLO by the top. Dream of Lamborghini, girlfriend in bikini. Front covered Forbes magazine is where you'll see me. Oh, what? How? Price went down. Who will save us now? Felt like a hero. Now the fear is here and it's clear as steering to zero.
Yeah.
Hands weak, backs heavy, and I'm ready to forget about already all the hopes and the dreams. So puke your position like mom spaghetti. I'm hungry and got long cash on and ready to just buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
Buy that fucking dip.
Oh.
Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and
Buy that
spit.
shit.
Buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
Buy that fucking dip.
Yeah.
When it
Hey, welcome to Decentralizing, and thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be going over various things related to my crypto life and what I'm doing in the market, and also the things that are just interesting me in the moment. Well, the first thing I want to share with everybody, other than a little bit of Bitcoin technical analysis today, is I do want to point everybody to Lil Bubble, because he's got to be one of the best music artists in the scene. And I discovered Lil Bubble probably about 6 years ago, I want to say. I'm going to share my playlist as well, which you can find in the show notes in the description. This playlist, Crypto Life, featuring 403 of currently the best songs in the space, worldwide, international, anything that's related to Bitcoin and crypto, I cover it. And you probably couldn't actually see that, could you? But you'll see it in the it's a Spotify playlist in the show notes there. So let's do a little bit of technical analysis just to kind of get started today. What I am seeing, at least on the 4-hourly candles, and I mean obviously you can draw this what looked like a bull flag but broke down. You could draw it different, in several different ways, but no matter what variation you look at, we did break down and we lost the 100-day moving average, simple moving average. And right now we are fighting it. And it looks like it's rejecting us. It rejected us yesterday, and we did not get a good bounce there. And then today, we got a bounce, but actually twice we got bounces right here as well in this candle. But you can see both of them were rejected, so it's not looking so great in the short term. I mean, my expectation is one of a couple possibilities. We kind of sit here and consolidate and continue to troll the 100-day and perhaps get enough steam to suddenly pop up above it, and then eventually kind of consolidate here and making moves back up to the this is the 20-day and this is the 50-day moving average. But until then, really till we get above the 20, I'm not short-term bullish. And this is just, kind of showing that we need more time down here. Potentially going down to support levels around here. This is one level right here around 55K. And I'm wondering why I drew that line, so we can go back here and sort of look for a historical reason why. I guess I'm seeing this as a good place where we have gotten a good number of bounces historically. This is like the spring of 21, and you could see quite a few bounces around this region and there. So I do expect that it would provide some support, but we do have a fair amount of support here as well. But what everybody's really expecting, and they've been talking about, if you look at the the volume price weighting, where a lot of that volume has accumulated over time, it's right here, and so 50, 52K definitely going to provide some pretty good support, most people are thinking. Additionally, if I take this 600 period moving average, it's 600 periods because 24 hours in a day, we're looking at 4-hour candles, so there's 6 periods per day. So this is the 100-day moving average. I can change this to the 1200-day moving average in trading view like this. And when I do that, this right here would be the 200-day moving average. Now, perhaps even more valuable than looking at just the 100 or 200. I do think that this would provide a really good support level as well, and that's around 49,000. Like if we go below that, it's kind of undisputably a bear market for a little while, I think, especially if we don't get back above the 200-day moving average. But we're not even down there yet. And I think that showing the bull market support bands would be illustrative here. This tends to be a metric followed by Ben Cowan, and I do think that the way that he uses those bull market support bands is fairly well evident. It's got a lot of evidence for it working. So let's take a look at the bull market support bands. Oops. Support. And guys, nothing in this is to be considered financial advice about what you should or shouldn't buy. Obviously, I'm invested in the market, and I have been for a long time, since 2013, when we first got into Bitcoin. Bitcoin bull market support. Whoops. Helps if I can type. There we go. Is that the wrong? Nope, that's not the right one. Gonna get rid of that. Might be this one. Nope. Let's see. Is it this one? Dang it. Damn it. Alright. I'm going to remove a couple of these because they're like getting in my way. I had this chart up recently, so it is annoying that it's not here anymore. Just like throwing every indicator on here, and they're crap. But I think that last one might have been it. Let's see. Is it? No, it's still not it. Man. As my daughter's been saying a lot recently. Oh, man. Alright, let's try one more time. There it is. Finally. Okay, so just so we know, let's put this on favorites. Okay, this is the bull market support band we're looking at. And you can see that we're pretty much like bouncing off of that. If we lose that though and kind of stay below it, especially if we get rejected, we go below it and then we attempt to rise back up. So in other words, we get knocked down here. And then we try to go back up through it, but we get rejected. That would also be short-term bearish more. So it's hard to say what's going to happen right now. Obviously, price action is always just really speculation and divination. So there's no way I can tell you with any degree of certainty what's going to happen in the short term. I can tell you that this candle, in and of itself on the daily, is looking fairly bullish because it's at least a good recovery-looking candle. But yeah, you know, we were kind of waiting to see how macro continues to turn out. As far as ETF inflows, I don't see anything that insightful. Down here we see kind of the same trend recently of lower and decreasing or decreased sort of volume, but in the crash is getting a little bit more higher volume. I haven't looked much at the direct in and outflows, but I have heard other influencers say there's been some outflows recently, which is, you know, I think to be expected when overall sentiment does shift, as we've seen recently. All right, so I want to get into some more fun stuff, though. Today, let's talk a little bit more about Bitcoin and runes. This is my Redbubble store, by the way, if you want to help support the channel. Okay. So I got involved with Bitcoin Ordinals, the inscriptions and Taproot ecosystem back in May, I believe it was May 8th of 2023 when I first bought a Bitcoin Wizard. And so here we have the ability to do this retro claim. So let's go through it and see what happens here. So this is telling me with this particular wallet, I made my first trade not very long ago. Only one trade. So I'm going to get 1,000 of these, which I can like claim and tweet. So I'll go ahead and do that. But and just to kind of see why, maybe it'll show me some stats or something. Oops, no. If I go here and I see my items. Okay, so this is my. What is that? Another new drop? There's just airdrops all the time, man. Who knows? If you don't know what it is, wait. Don't touch it. Even though, as far as I'm understanding, Ordinals, the ability to use JavaScript is in an iframe, so that should prevent any sort of cross-site scripting issues that could lead to potential vulnerabilities, but don't quote me on that. These NFTs are cool. I just like to show them because I am a fan of the Wu-Tang Clan. Ghostface Killer.
Yo, Shank's been smuggled out of Sing Sing, so got blazing.
I have several of those. But yeah, so it's interesting that this wallet, it's saying it only saw that much because, oh, no, it's not. This is my hardware wallet. If I connect a different wallet, so let's go here. And going to Xverse. Alright. Let's see if this thing is recognizing. Oh yeah, see different amount of diamond rewards now. Sure, whatever, I'll link it. Magic Eden wants you to sign this message. Here's the message hash. Let's look at what we're signing. Okay, we're just proving that we're the owner of an account. We're not sending any funds or transacting. They often seem to have problems with that part right there, I've noticed. Let's go to claim diamonds and see. You're not eligible. Okay. Because there was another one where I was this morning when I logged in. Is this signing into even another wallet though? Oh no, okay. Now we got all the rewards linked in one place. Look at that. I think. Yeah, because this is the one I logged into this morning. It's like you have 25,000 points and you can get another free 25,000 points. That's basically what it was telling me with this diamond quest. So this is something I just wanted to kind of share and show you guys what I'm working on here. I'm not too sure about what it's going to do though. So basically, okay, go spend more money and we'll hook you up with more points. So it's another kind of like airdrop farming type thing, I guess. I do not know what these diamond rewards actually do. I know that they are being traded in the whales.market. Watch, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can go here and you can go to like Which part is it? Is it features? None of this looks like the area I'm looking for, though. Oh, here we go. Go to DApp. Okay. So you can like trade points, like say, for example, friend tech points here. Somebody asked me recently in my Web3 NM group if I could explain exactly how they're able to trade things like loyalty points on a secondary market. I do not know, but I know that they have made markets for Dog Go to the Moon, Runestone, prior to the actual drops. And here we see this one as well, whatever that is. Yeah, here's points, see? And boom, you can see in we have things like blast points and eigenlayer. I missed the whole eigenlayer thing. According to some of my friends, it's probably for the better, because they did not have a good experience. But I do know that I used to see the Magic Eden points that we're trading here. Don't see it anymore. Anyway, I digress. Let's return to Magic Eden. Oops. That's not where I want to go. Okay, this is the one I was at. So we're talking about the runes right here. We're gonna talk about some of the runes that I'm holding right now and why I think that where my convictions lie and why. So let's start off kind of like with a little bit of background about runes, because I want to tell a little bit of the story here about Bitcoin Ordinals and about runestones and like how I got one and why I think that this is such a bullish project. So the first thing to say about runestones is like they basically followed this project called RSIC. And let me show you what they look like, because I think I have them in this wallet. Yeah, I got 2 R6 that got airdropped to me one day out of nowhere. So let's take a look and sort of look at the transaction history down here. And you can see that a transfer was done to right here to my wallet about 2 months ago. And this really, I'd say, is what started the whole hype. And there is a little bit of a rivalry that I see going online in the Twitter sphere, or the X sphere, whatever you prefer to call it, between RSICs and the what's going on with runestones. So with RSICs, they rely on this recursive submodule, which you can click on and go to that inscription. I think there's a way to actually view it. This may not be the right spot, but if you follow RuneCoin on X, so watch, I'll show you right here. Let's go find RuneCoin, the official X account. From right here, you can actually get the information regarding Risk Season 2 that's about to start and the Risk Season 1. But okay, long story short was when I found those, I was like, I don't know what to do. And a lot of people felt the same way. So they went onto Twitter and they're trying to figure out what this airdrop is and how it mines. And the alpha that they dropped was through the form of an inscription. So you had to go read this inscription and look at it on chain, and it gave you instructions for the game. Now what the instructions for the game were was actually quite intriguing, because is it displaying this please like and subscribe thing? Let me get that down. And let me show my face as well, because I've been hiding. Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Nate, and this is my channel. Learn a little bit about the cryptosphere and crypto life. So with these RSICs, essentially you just had to send it to yourself or send it to another wallet. That would activate it, and then you'd go to like ord.io and you could see how many pre-runes points you had. Now depending on how many points you allocated prior to the snapshot that they did that snapshot somewhere around the 4th Great Halvening, which was block 840,000. Pretty close to there. When they did that drop, or when they did that snapshot, prices then, of course, tumbled, predictably, because they had already gone up to like 0.08 Bitcoin or something, or 0.09. But you can see they've already climbed back up to 0.05. So this is the first one, and I know I'm like getting a long-winded explanation as to what these are and how they compare to runestones and which one I prefer and what price action we've seen. Those are all the questions I think I want to get into. So, yeah, if we look at this, this is Risk Genesis rune. You can see that it is one of the first runes that was inscribed on Bitcoin. In fact, I think it was the very first one, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember the order, because the order does matter. Well, let's look at OKX, because they have an Ordinals market. Okay, here we are on OKX, and that's Atomicals and Ordinals. I know they also have runes up here. Here we go, runes. Okay, and you can go here on OKX and you can say all. When you do that, you can just say deployed. Actually, that's the default. Uncommon goods, that's the one that Casey Rodermore, the creator and coder of runes, he dropped that for everybody to mint from for the next, like, I think up until the next halvening. Decentralized was the second rune drop. That belongs to the Cyberkongs, or the Prometheans, as they're called. That is this collection. Whoops, what the heck is going on? I don't know what this boosted is now. Oh, it's where they give you more reward points for trading certain assets. Those diamond points that I showed you earlier. Okay, here's the Prometheans. Did they change the image on them? No, they didn't change the image on them. If you check out the show Inside NFTs with Huda Idiot, that's his screen name. Really great show. And also the founder of Cyberkongs. So they did this drop also. And these things were trading at like 0.08, 0.09. But I think his name is Henry the Grape. And he was able to secure that very first rune. So I mean, I think that's important to not like get rid of for that reason, if nothing else, because in the Bitcoin space, ever since Ordinals have been dropped there and inscriptions, there has been a big focus on, you know, getting rare, unique sats, but not just that, you know, inscription numbers. So if you have something that is in the sub 1K collection versus the sub 10K collection or the sub 100K, there are differences in price, and you can find that just like this. You just go like this, magiceden.io. Sub 1K, I think will do it. Or it used to do it. Oh, it's probably under collections. Sub 1K. Oh man, I had it earlier. Go to collections, like click on any collection. Oh no, I'm not even on Bitcoin. That's part of the problem. Okay, now we're on Bitcoin. Let's look at Quantum Cats, for example. And then you can just do, I think like that. Yeah, there we go. Sub 10K. Okay, and you can see that the floor price for these, if you get in the first 10,000 inscriptions, is already 1, you know, 6/100ths of a Bitcoin, right? And 1/100th of a Bitcoin is like, you know, $6,000 or $600. So this is 600 times 6. This is $3,600 right here. That's the floor price for a sub 10K. Now, if we look at a sub 1K, now watch this. Big change. We have an order of magnitude in value that accrues. Essentially, these things are now going for 10 times more as the floor price. So yeah, you know, it matters how close you are. Bitcoin punks, for example, are in the sub 100K category, and I believe as a result of that, they're still undervalued. Not financial advice, none of this is, but like I own 2 Bitcoin punks. Obviously, I think that's a Bitcoin punk. No, that just looks like a Bitcoin punk. But if I go to like my items and I click on one of my Bitcoin punks, switch wallets. You guys are like, how many times are you gonna ADHD shift from topic to topic? Stick to a freaking topic, bro. I just reconnect to the same wallet. I did. No, not Magic Eden. Come on, fool. Come on, fool. There we go. Okay, there's a Bitcoin Punk, and you could see that in terms of inscription number, right? That's inscription ID, but then inscription number, 23,746. So this is almost like sub 10K, getting one like this. But, you know, how much did I buy this one for? I bought it for 0.06 Bitcoin. It looks like when I bought it. And, you know, I'm probably still at a loss, but you can click on the accessory pink with hat and see what those are going for. And yeah, I'm pretty underwater because these are like 0.02. So, you know, they're worth like 1/3. They probably lost about 2/3 of their value currently. But I'm not bearish or anything. I've been in the space long enough to see how the cycles of assets move, and you know, trust me, the moment you sell something in one collection that you think is never going to pump, that's when it pumps. So, but you know, I don't look at it like buy these just to pump. I kind of look at it more like, what do I think is going to accrue long-term value? Where would a long-term Bitcoin holder, somebody who really believes in the chain and the ecosystem, where are they going to want to park their money in terms of like a cool status symbol or a picture? I think Bitcoin frogs are one as well. But of course, guys, quantum cats, like, that is the one. That's the one, because, you know, what am I looking for all the time? I'll tell you what I'm looking for, like every day. Going here to quantum cats, I'm looking at traits, and I am clicking on the golden cape. But there's no golden capes. No new ones have emerged. So, yeah, that's kind of like part of the day-to-day of what I'm working on currently in the ecosystem, you know, and sort of speculating and gambling on, I would say. Oh, okay. I didn't even get to the runestones or dog go to the moon or any of that. I just told you about RSICs and the drop. So let's circle back to that real quick. I'll go back to my runes and I'll show you some of these RSIC Genesis runes, because that's what I was talking about. I was talking about like the ordering of the runes, because that does matter. Okay, back to OKX. When we go back here to the ordering of the runes, you can see that this one, Fehu, I bought a few of those for fun, but we still don't know much about like what's going on there, except that 99% of the supply is held by one person in the pre-mine. And you can check this too. It's one thing that's cool about runes is there's some transparency in knowing who holds and like what the pre-allocation was to a team. So if you go to, I don't know how to do it here. Oh, there it is. Token details up here. Minted amount 111 million. But the visibility to rune ID. Where's the pre-mine? Maybe Magic Eden tells you the pre-mine. I know there's a way to figure out like how much was pre-mined. So yeah, again, this one is just like nobody knows much yet on that one. Going back here, Dog Go to the Moon. Now, why runestones were so unique is like if you look at the supply of an RSIC. I'll go back here. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit hungover today. Blech, I feel kind of tired. Not my normal self. Went to go check out a really cool hip-hop show last night, The Far Side. So yeah, bear with me if my brain is slow, because it is. So Risk Genesis runes are... Where are they on the list? That's season 2, 17. Oh, it should be in the top ones, I'm pretty sure. I remember it being near the top. Kind of confused by this. Oh, minting, deployed. There it is. Risk Genesis rune. You can see that we have 96,000 holders, so now it's been distributed a lot more. That much I know. And this is one of the key elements that I think matters a lot, is the distribution and how it's distributed. Because with runestones, nobody's really sure like why some people got RSICs and others didn't, and the supply was 21,000. But with runes, the supply of that drop was even more, and we do know why they were dropped. We know that everybody got 3 in there. If you had minted 3 runes, 3 ordinals, then you were going to get one of these dropped. But it had to be 3 ordinals within one wallet, and you had to be holding them for, here we go, a valid address for the runestone airdrop should hold inscriptions that block 826,000. And you could go check your wallet before this. This was like back in January or February or something. And then like he went and raised money, and it was a really large inscription that he made recursive, and then dropped it to 112,000 people, which is a lot, you know. And what I find, you know, to be very interesting about this one ever since launch is that, and this is my theory, right? Because you dropped this to people who were early adopters of ordinals, and they were already holding 3 inscriptions, most of them were kind of like hardcore, more hodlers, more so than speculators. And look, this is my evidence. We see that we have a listed percentage of 1.5%. Now I tell you, I look at this metric a lot, and it has persistently stayed around that number. I'm not saying Arctics aren't awesome. You don't see me selling that either, but and that's also a very low number. But look, it's never been as low as Runestone consistently is, and so I look at that as a very strong sort of hodl wave. If you're familiar with hodl waves and that model of looking at Bitcoin long-term holders and people who've been holding for certain periods of time, I do think this is something that should be looked at when you're investing in a collection. Like, why are people getting that, and is there a reason that they're investing in that art? Because this is digital art. It's membership in communities. That's what I believe, and that's why I invest in it. And so, for example, with Quantum Cats, I mean, geez, this is obviously, like, there is no second pet, you know? There's just no second pet, guys. The thing about Quantum Cats is they have a chance of randomly evolving a golden cape. Now, if you want to be a Taproot wizard, and that's like the most elite thing that you can shoot for in this ecosystem, in all of Bitcoin in my mind, because really the Taproot wizards, along with movements like Bitcoin Wizard, the Maven Shot, and his drop of Bitcoin Wizards, these guys are like the most, and Casey, they're like the foundational movement here, and Leonidas. They're the ones trying to change things on Bitcoin in a more positive way, get real usage for the chain, and bring people into the ecosystem in a secure and safe way. You know, really, I look at it as this is the more secure blockchain, so it makes sense to secure more of the funds and assets there. Now I could talk more about that, and I could tell you more about the decentralization of the project and why I think decentralization, that's why I named this podcast Decentralizing. It's really why we're here. It's why I'm here, because people need to have ways that they can get freedom and autonomy for themselves, where they're not able to, somebody can't fuck with them, right? Whether that's a government or whatever. We deserve to have ways to have autonomy and dignity over our own possessions, or at least that, hopefully. Doggo to the Moon is really cool because the mission is very simple here. It's just a simple, very cute dog that is getting memed crazy levels on social media. I'll just show you some examples. If I go to notifications, I'm going to see Doggo to the Moon everywhere. I just got to find anything that Leonidas has posted recently, because that dude is always posting. And here we go. Let's find Leonidas. There we go. Boom. So there we go. Literally sending dog go to the moon to the moon. But the goal is simple with Dog Go to the Moon. We have this free and fair airdrop. Make sure if you're following Leonidas, make sure it's the real one, because there's a lot of fake scammers on Twitter. But when he dropped this, the message is very simple. It's a free and fair airdrop that was given to OGs, and there was no pre-allocation. It's very small. I think that Leonidas took 9 runestones and he gave 5 of them away for himself. You had to hold a runestone in order to get the drop. So of course, after the drop, they plummeted in value too. They went from like 0.09 Bitcoin, so almost a tenth of a Bitcoin, something like $7,000 almost at peak. They went all the way down to like 0.019. So, you know, they went down to just 20% of their peak. So there's been a lot of volatility there, like all these projects, but I don't hold them short term or trade them. Why do I not trade these things short term? I mean, the fees are crazy on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you want to inscribe, if you want to trade, if you want to buy any of those things, they're all going to cost you money. So you need to take that capital into consideration, and you also need to consider that even though these are more volatile and they can move up faster, they can also go down a lot faster. And if you're trying to get in or out of a position rapidly, due to the low liquidity of these smaller collections, especially if the supply size is small. For example, Bitcoin Wizards, there's just like 1,337 is the supply. So that's a very small amount. And during peak selling, I've seen like, 13% listed or something like that. So that means you got 100 of these things, and that's it. I mean, that's pretty good liquidity, but like some of these collections won't have anything moving. Okay, like my Bitcoin Kingdom, nobody's really buying or selling there. So, you may see a price that's hypothetically the floor, but is that really the floor? Because you can go list under the floor, and if nobody's even buying that collection or looking at it, that's not the real value of it. So, I also don't sell ever. I don't get into positions where I'm going to be desperate with this art. Like, if I'm going to need this art for money, then I don't invest in it. Only a small percentage of like Bitcoin allocations should be put into stuff like this. So, I've been going for a while today. I'm going to stop the session here for today and resume tomorrow and see how this continues to go. Thanks for tuning in.